his pants.
Bring in the heat, Alec and Pete.
That felt awesome.
Bring in the heat, Alec and Pete.
All right, there it is. Bringing the heat with Alec and Pete. Another just amazing episode coming at you strong. We got Pete. What's up,
What's going on,
Pete?
guys? Yeah, as always.
As always, we got Was. She hasn't been on since, just in a really long time. But we needed to bring you back because Pete's been having trouble with his thongs, and it's just been an issue.
Yeah,
So,
I've been needing some strong advice on thong choices. Yeah,
I'm here to help, boys.
Well, you just heard the song, right, for the first time in person on the podcast, right? Or you're an avid listener?
No, I've heard it.
she's heard it. She listens.
Yeah.
She listens to it
Occasionally.
Occasionally.
She wakes up to it every day.
It is my alarm clock.
I want to know who listens because we have 30 to 40 like constant listeners, and I only know of a few of them.
Yeah, but everyone says, "Oh yeah, I listen every day." We get a lot of people saying that they're avid listeners, but I probably heard that from 45 people, which doesn't match up with the numbers.
Yeah.
But
what's going on, Pete? What's up with you this week?
just same old. I was out in a junkyard today, filled with like hundreds of cars, just ripping apart pieces of cars. I just bought a Jeep Cherokee, 1998, 60,000 miles for like less than $2,000. So snag of a deal, but sometimes you got to do a little TLC to it
Why did you need it?
Well, I'm probably going to trade in my other car so that I have I have no loan. I'm debt free. That'll be a couple extra grand my way. And then I have a car
Besides the credit card.
No, that'll cover the money back will cover the credit card.
Oh, wow.
I mean, used cars are going for a lot now because there's such a shortage on everything.
I'll let you know if I resold this, I could probably get $5-6 grand right now, just the way that these are selling on Marketplace. So, but this thing will last me. This will last me like
2, maybe 3 weeks,
5-6 years with that mileage. And then get this, if it gets wrecked or it just dies, I only spent $2 grand. You know what I mean? It's not like my money's.
And for that for you, that's peanuts. You throw that down on Bitcoin or
that's
fucking
an
Doge.
Instacart. It's like an Instacart week.
Yeah.
Wait, so are you just doing Instacart? Like that's
and he's going through he's getting paid by some guy named what's his name? Sloppy Joe to do the work in the
the videos
yard?
online. Yeah. Are we talking about the online video? Oh shit, I shouldn't have mentioned that.
Are you talking about your OnlyFans?
Imagine Pete with an OnlyFans.
Well, I do have one, but I'm paying more than I'm getting. I'm paying like it's kind of like they say, listen, you give us $40 a month and then whatever profit you make. But
you remember
I've ended up having to pay people. I don't know.
The funniest thing Pete ever said on this podcast, and we should do an episode where we just go back and listen to some of the best clips, but we don't know how to do anything, so we'll not be able to do that. But when Pete is talking about, he's like making homemade cookies, and he's like, you take cookies from Wegmans and then you put them in the microwave and homemade cookies.
That's what the fuck they are. Listen, I had a buddy on the same topic. I had a buddy text me like 2 days ago. He goes, you know what Binghamton needs? He's like, we should open up a male stripper joint. And I'm like, all right, so who's gonna? He's like, dude, you and me can be the owners and the strippers. I go, bro, do you know how much debt we're gonna be in? Because no one's going to come. Oh shit!
You took your shirt off at my house once, and I literally almost puked. And you're like, dude, this is a normal man's body. I'm like, that's a big guy.
I said that's a dad bod. Okay, that's what's I've been saying the dad bod's in for like a while now.
And we talked about this, and the dad bod's really not all in.
Yeah, well, it kind of just depends what angle you're coming. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
some people like the little pea in a pod, which is AKA grassy, the little slim body, shorter,
really like that.
Slim.
Well,
I've known, but
people love the movie The Hobbit. Oh, you were saying.
I was watching the Yankees, and I'm looking at Aaron. I'm definitely not fully straight, but like whatever. I'm looking at Aaron Judge. I'm looking at these bigger guys on the Yankees. I'm thinking, of course these girls want, like, can you imagine Aaron Judge like on top of you? Like that would be insane. Like, and then you got little me on them. Like it probably looks weird with like this little guy on them.
How tall is Aaron Judge?
6'8", 6'7".
He's a 6'8". What team is he on? Baseball? I was like, wait. Were you saying? I was like trying to think. I don't know teams that well. I do. Could you imagine a 6'8" baseball player? I don't know.
Yeah, he hits home runs like out of the
He's
park.
6'7".
He's 6'7".
And 29 years old, 282 pounds. Oof.
Yeah.
Baby.
And he fixed his teeth.
He did?
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. I might need to stop down in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing pretty. You're not doing that well up here, so.
No.
I'm sure he's on Tinder or something. I'm sure you can find him on.
I think this is actually a really funny story. This actually happened. He has a girlfriend, or at least he did at the time. His girlfriend gets pulled over by the police, like she was speeding or something. Guess what she did to try to get out of the ticket?
What?
She told them that her boyfriend was Aaron Judge.
Did she get out of the ticket?
No.
Oh, she got it. Yeah. That's like calling the fucking my daddy is the lawyer or something. That's one of those fucking cards.
Well, you probably used to do that with your dad. You're like, my dad is your wife's gynecologist, and then you got punched in the face.
You'd be surprised what having a dad as a gynecologist could get you out of. You would literally be surprised, because how many women have babies? The majority of them. So, it kind of plays down in my favor, but you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that.
Hey, Pete, have you been going out, like, since the mask mandate is gone now or whatever? Have you been going out to places not wearing your mask and shit?
I mean, I haven't, because I don't know. There's something like, what if you have a white card that says you got a vaccine, then you're good, but you got to carry it on you like a passport or some shit.
Yeah, but they don't ask.
Oh, well, no, I'm just kind of like, I don't know.
You went to Target today. Did they ask you for your?
No, I went to Target, Bed Bath & Beyond,
and
Broadway Diner.
Did you wear your mask?
No.
And no one asked a thing. No said a thing.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, Pete. But are you afraid of getting COVID, Pete, because of your asthma and diabetes?
I haven't been diagnosed with diabetes yet, so
Yet.
I don't know. I haven't gotten it yet. Knock on wood, but I don't know. Like I would say that.
Are you choosing not to get vaccinated? Like you just don't want to?
I want to give it some time. Yeah, I'm gonna see how stuff ends up. Yeah, I'm not really worried about me. Maybe for the elderly people that I hang with, aka grandparents or something, or the guys I play chess with at the park on Wednesdays. But yeah, it's more of like, I think I'm probably fine, but everybody I know that I hang out with that's over the age of 50 is vaccinated already. So
well, Pete, I think you'll find this interesting. So I went to the gym yesterday, and out of all the people,
that's very interesting.
Yeah, so yeah, that was fun. Hit back and buys. Ladies hit me up. So at the gym, I get there and I ask them, do I have to show you my vaccine card? They're like, no, go in. So I get in, and I would say 75% of the guys were not wearing masks, but then I would say 75% of the girls were wearing masks. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking girls are either wearing masks because they have butter faces or because they voted for AOC.
What are you thinking? Interesting theory.
That could be. I think AOC must have been the majority female vote, right?
What guy do you think is like listening to her thinking, yeah, I'm gonna vote for her? Unless they're like, okay, if I vote for her, maybe I could bang her because she's kind of a
yeah. I can't stand. I can't stand her. I don't know anyone that really can, but there's a lot of Karens I think out there that would love to vote for her and stuff, but I don't know. Do you think the whole guy girl mask thing or no mask is gonna play into like dating, like today's dating? Like, oh, I find that hot that he's wearing a mask, or I find it hot that he's not wearing a mask. What's your take on that?
Yeah, what
you think?
This is a question
you think we got some?
Oh God.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is
like you walk in. So you say you're in a place, and now that we don't have to wear masks anywhere, and he's wearing his mask like to walk in to sit down at a restaurant, are you thinking, all right, this guy's a fucking fanoik?
No, wait.
Yeah, I'm thinking this guy's a fucking loser.
let's straighten
Like,
this up though.
Okay.
All right, wait. Before you. So what if you've got a guy who is wearing a mask, but top up, you're like, all right, this motherfucker's a 10. But then you see like a 7 with no mask on. Who do you approach?
Well, that's very situational because first of all, height is big for me because I'm a very above average height
She
woman.
likes 5'8" men.
Yes. So it's all going to depend on the height first. Second of all, if you're wearing a mask, like we're 22, 23 years old, like don't be a fucking loser with your mask on. We're all going to survive COVID. Like it's probably going to be fine. If you don't want to get vaccinated, no issues with me. Every man for themselves now. You're on your own. You don't need the mask. We're fine.
That's coming from the Nurses Association of America, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out them.
Are we sponsored? We'll probably get in trouble for
we're done. We're done saying we're getting sponsored because I think one day we're gonna get sued.
Nah.
We're futuristically possibly sponsored by them.
Well, we like to shout them out.
That's fine. We can do a shout out.
Shout outs are all okay.
Shout out for my license. But my thing is, if you hang out with like the older generation and they're not vaccinated, first of all, that's on them. Second of all, that's fine that you would want to protect yourself. But like, you better come with that sob story that you're telling me if you're fucking hot with a mask on at this point. Because I'm over that bullshit.
Yeah. Well, it's hot with a mask on. It's like, oh, my grandmother can't get vaccinated because her veins are too small. Or something. I don't know. Something like that. That's a good. Grass is like, shit, I got to use that one.
So I got a question for you, Pete. Do you ever so like, I think about this a lot when I go to take a test and I like absolutely bomb it. And I'm thinking, do you think, if you believe in God, he's looking down knowing that you're going to see this test and like, it's absolutely going to shock you and you're going to like get fucked. And he's watching going, oh my, he's not going to expect this. Like just any
and he's just like, let's just fucking see what happened. Let's fucking ruin this guy's day.
Like he's not. Yeah. He's, you're having a good day. And all of a sudden, like your girlfriend just dumps you out of nowhere. God's like, you weren't seeing that coming.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that. With all the theories on how the world works out there. Like me trading my car in 5 times. I'm thinking, oh, this is a good deal. But then, he's probably like, this motherfucker doesn't even know the problems he's going to run into after doing this. I don't know. I mean, I'm like the luckiest non-lucky guy out there, if that's understandable.
All right.
I agree with that. You should not be living in a house and have like what your decisions, you would think you would be on the street, begging, and you're in a nice house.
And I got 2 vehicles, nice. You're clearly house,
eating well.
I've actually
more money than I am.
He is worse than you are.
I'm not. My money's up in stocks, Dogecoin. But what was I going to say?
It took a hit.
Talking
it's back up.
So listen. So I 2 days ago, 2 days ago stepped on the scale, and I was like, I usually weigh around like 210, 205, whatever. Grassy and I are just built differently. What's that? What's the built differently? That's the motto for one of the cars, right? Ram or Dodge or something. Ford, built different.
You're the one who owns all the cars.
Yeah. So I step on it and it says like 218. I'm like, oh, okay, it's a big shock. The next morning I wake up, it says 205. Okay. So both times I had my fucking buddy come up and check his weight 3 times, and it was always 205. I dropped somehow 13 pounds over a night. I don't know. I don't think it's the scale because we triple checked it. I did the whole scientific method, wrote up a hypothesis, did the whole multiple testing.
Leaning on it weird the one time.
Yeah, or you just couldn't read it properly.
I couldn't read it. I have perfect eyesight.
Okay. There's something called diabetic retinopathy, where your eyes start to go with your diabetes.
No, we don't know.
I definitely don't have that one.
If you can't see or you can't start to feel your feet, I would go to the doctor.
So now this is turning into a medical advice podcast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Medical you get very thirsty and your breath starts to taste like fruity. Go to your doctor.
What's funny? Not my breath is fruity. Sometimes other parts of me that come out of my body taste fruity. I've been told.
Yeah.
Who's telling you this? Who's the guy? The guys you hang with in the shower, high school.
Larry and Gary.
It's been a couple months though.
No. It hasn't.
Oh yeah. Wait, you must have missed the last.
We talked about. Yeah, we talked about.
Oh.
I didn't tell you about that.
Oh yeah, sure that happened.
I smoked a deer last night. Like absolutely with my Kia Forte. Let me tell you what it did to my Kia. My Kia is no longer that thing.
No way. Shop?
Yeah, I didn't tell.
No.
I waited till today to tell you guys. Yeah, I'm driving home from the gym, and this deer, I didn't even see it. I'm listening to music, jamming out.
What time is this?
This is 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
It's not dark.
It's not dark, but the deer blended in. I'm telling you, with like the sun, the grass.
It was a camouflage deer.
Yeah, camouflage deer.
But it was light out.
Yeah, it was only 8 p.m.
Oh my god!
Let me tell you, this deer, the fur is in my car. Well, the car is at the shop. Insurance.
Did it break the windshield?
No, it hit it and then it just rolled into the woods and it's laying there. It's sleeping.
I'm taking a
dirt nap.
Wow. So, oh my god. So wait. I've seen ones where they get hit and then they run off into the woods. Are you telling me this? You were going
this thing got hit so hard. That thing was not running. It wasn't. It's taking a dirt nap forever. Okay.
Jeez. Damn. So you must have done some. You probably messed up the frame if it was a big enough.
The car's done, dude. I hit it going 55. The car's small as it is.
Yeah, I'll get you a Cherokee. I'll hook you up. 90. I can probably get you a 93. A 93 with 300,000 miles on it or something.
You ever hit a deer?
For like 100.
Yeah, but I never have had like a little Kia Forte. I had like I had probably like a Land Cruiser. We probably clipped a deer, but nothing like. See, when it jumps out, what I do is I turn a little bit, so I just hit the side of it. I don't turn into it. I think you were thinking.
I did not even try to turn. Because
you probably watch cars.
I would have gotten into a car. I would have killed myself if I turned. Like I've done that where you overcorrect and then your car spins, then you fucking smash something. So I was like, you know what? This thing's gonna have to get smoked because it's too late for me to fucking brake.
Did you watch? Was it Disney Cars or Pixar Cars last night? Remember the racetrack? He goes, you need to turn into the curve or something.
That movie sucks.
Oh, I think it's
what? No, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
Come on, don't knock it because it makes you upset. You're just fucking jealous.
Was that the one where they sing "Life is a Highway"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they don't sing it. I don't think. Does he sing it? No,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Tomater.
Yeah.
The Eeyore of vehicles. But yeah.
So since we have Lauren on, should we get into some dumb things about girls and guys?
Yeah. Play it down.
What do we have here? I don't even know. I sent them to Lauren.
Yeah.
Let's read them out here. Okay. All right. So one thing we wanted to ask. Now that we're getting older, dating is a lot different in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
How would you say it's different now?
I feel like this blends in with one of the other topics.
Okay,
too.
All right, then you can hit that.
Yeah, I feel like at this stage of the game, however you meet, whether it's at the bar, through a mutual friend, on a dating app, whatever, the only way you're going to meet somebody is like face to face. And I feel like people our age and younger and older now as well are so just like want to do everything over the phone, like all text, like not even FaceTime. Like if you want to do it over the phone, at least FaceTime me so I can see that you're a real person. But like so many people are in the like digital world and it's like, no, thank you. Buy me a drink. Take me out for a nice dinner. Show me a time. So think of something creative.
Yeah.
That's a Pete's Alley.
Well, we've talked about, Grace, we've talked about this all the time. And it's like people, the next generation's fucked. I mean, in terms of
our generation is that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I
us
wouldn't consider
and the
us.
next.
Yeah. It depends. I think it's half and half us. I think there's half of the people like me that like giving phone calls and all that, being in person.
You want to go to the tulip farm?
Yeah, the tulip farm is very nice. Oh yeah, let's just make fun of Peter because he likes making fun. Yeah. I think you can get canceled for that. You can get cancel culture for that. I don't even know what the fuck that word means, but you know what I mean. But
you don't know what cancel means?
I know what canceled means.
Well, I know cancel. I think cancel is just people getting being soft. Cancel culture is people being soft. But what was I saying? Yeah, I mean, I think the conversation and all that stuff with kids these days is going to be like family dinners are just going to be silence. Like it's just, I
Yeah,
don't
well, it's
know.
hard to like I feel like girls are like think it's weird if you ask them to get dinner these days. Or if Lauren sets you up with one of her friends and then you get dinner with her a couple times, hang out, and then you have to ask for her sweatshirt back and she won't give it back to you. Like there's just different things that go on and
Yeah.
you don't know.
Well, the sweatshirt thing is must be a pattern because
You've dealt with it.
I've given
girls
up on.
Think it's like hilarious or there's something with taking clothing. What is it, Pete? Explain to me.
Here's what it is, because I've been down this. I've been trying to acquire an item for about 3 years now. I send it every month, just the monthly whatever. What it is if you really want that sweater back or that piece of whatever back, they're holding it against you because they want to make you feel like they still have control or power. They still have something that you want, you know. And I would say it goes vice versa, but I've never really heard of a guy holding on to girl stuff I don't.
No, I burnt things.
Yeah.
Thrown them out the window
or sold
I've
them.
heard some burning stories. This selling. Yeah, that's
funny.
I've also sold gifts that like my ex-boyfriends have given me. I'm like, I don't want this. It reminds me of them. I'm selling it on the internet. And then I made
money.
Oh yeah.
I've heard of plenty of people, and that's good cash. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But wait, the sweatshirts and clothes and stuff. I don't know. Like it has switched for me. Like in college, I used to like to take something, whether it's a t-shirt, sweatshirt, sweatpants, anything, as like a trophy.
Okay. So
like
a trophy
look at this collection that I have. I have a story for each one of them. But now that I'm older, like I don't want any of your clothing. Unless we're in like a serious relationship, then like I don't leave your clothes here. That's another piece of laundry that I'll have to do. Get that out of here.
Yeah.
Like that's not for me anymore. Unless you're doing something serious.
Yeah, I mean, I've really never had any. I mean, sometimes my past girlfriends, I wear their clothes around, but they wear the same size as me. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Would have been great, Gracie. I'm sure the girls that you've talked to are probably the same size as you.
Well, what I do is I don't like to leave clothes, which I did leave a sweatshirt and I shouldn't have.
I was shocked when he left the sweatshirt.
It wasn't. Yeah, I was trying to be nice, and then I realized that's not who I am. And but you know what I like to leave at people's houses is my pubic hairs. I take them out and I spread them around the room, and that way you can have parts of me.
Aww.
Yeah, so they can always have. It's kind of like setting your territory, like animals. They pee around.
I would. Pee. I like peeing. We've talked. I do enjoy peeing. I should start just doing that in the corner of their rooms and kind of marking it. But
yeah,
know.
And that's why you don't get those second dates. I think. I think that's what we're finding here.
I have a question. You don't have to answer if you don't want.
Okay.
But the sweatshirt that you left, did you leave it thinking that would help you get laid?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because
you want me to go first? You want to go first?
Well, I think the answer can be found on our Patreon episode.
I mean, listen, so mine was, now I was talking to this girl for a long time, and also the girl does not live in the United States, which makes it very difficult to go retrieve the sweatshirt.
Yeah, she was of Ukrainian descent.
Must have been Ukrainians, the Czechoslovakian Ukrainian, but
I don't think I didn't mail there.
Yeah, I didn't leave it on. I've been trying to acquire. I've thought about flying over there a couple times just to acquire it. It's a very important piece of clothing because it's the only one that I had of this event that happened in the past. No, it's a sweater, but
how long ago was this?
He said 3 years.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
probably doesn't even fit anymore.
It'll fit. I've always been like 200 pounds. They were
really? In high school, you didn't seem like you were 200 pounds.
I was probably 198. 7th grade. No, I was always for the Gracie. How much do you weigh?
156. I've gained right 6 pounds. So,
bro, I in maybe 6th or 7th grade weighed 160, and I've never weighed less. So That's just interesting.
Well, I remember you used to think you would always like take your shirt off around. You always had your shirt off around me, and you'd be like, "Dude, look at these abs I'm growing in." I would always just lie to you, be like, "Yeah, dude, I see them," and you never had abs ever. So
That's just because you lied to me because you wanted to sleep in my bed when we had sleepovers.
sleep with you or sleep in your bed?
Oh yeah, you made it a point to be like, oh, I need to sleep in the bed with you. Grassy, there's a full size bed right over there. No, it's fine.
That's God's honest true story too. That's
yeah.
It's not even like an exaggeration. That's a crazy thing.
So I was like, what the fuck? But it wasn't strategic for me. I'm sure it was for Grassy. I'm sure it was like a little, oh, now she's gonna have to call me back,
Well, so sticking with the dating thing is my buddy, one of my buddies. I mean, I won't name drop him, but I think he was talking to a girl on Tinder, and he was like, "Hey, you want to get dinner like this weekend?" And she was like, "Oh, we need to know each other better before we get dinner." And I'm thinking to myself,
what does that mean?
Isn't that how we get to know each other?
Yeah.
Like it's going on dates old school now, or like what's the deal?
That's fucking the way to go.
Yes, it is old.
I mean, it's probably it's old school because there's so many people out there that are just fucking pansies and don't have the balls to go meet in person, for the first time. There's people that won't even talk to strangers, feel uncomfortable talking to strangers. If I'm at like a diner and I see somebody eating something, I'm like, oh, that looks good. I'll look over and be like, hey, how's the guangino? I don't know if that's a food, but whatever. It's Italian restaurant. Grassy, you would know, right? Is that a food?
No.
Okay.
No.
No. But I don't know. I think there's just something that's just humans being humans, talking to each other.
Do you think it has anything to do with jobs? Like, I feel like a lot of people our age, like just out of college, like right now, like getting a job isn't like people's priorities. I feel like.
Yeah. I mean,
so they're like, I don't have money to take you on a date. I feel like it's a big thing too.
I would say that's one thing. And also when they go to the date, they're like, oh, what do you do? So if you got nothing to talk about, then, yeah,
that's
I don't know. Grassy,
I think it's more on what Pete is like. Guys, literally guys and girls just are like scared to go on dates. Like they're not like mature enough. Like, yeah, it's weird. Like you're like you kind of act like a guy in a sense, but that's because you're trans.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't know. I didn't know. Oh,
me either.
Well, shout out the trans community.
Shout out.
Okay. So I guess we're not sponsored by. Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yeah. No. They don't. They're not a corporation.
Okay. But yeah. I don't know.
Pete, when's it acceptable to split the check, Pete? Or is it ever?
Or how about Pete? Do you and your girlfriend split the check?
Ooh.
Here's
the thing. So I'll give you my rundown. For the first probably month, I'll be like, all right, yeah, just pass. I'll take the out, cover the check. Then
were you officially dating? Like, are you talking about the first month officially dating?
I would say first month officially dating. Yeah, I mean, most of the time, unless it's something where she's like, oh, I want to go do this. And I'm like, well, I don't want to fucking go do that. You know what I mean? Like, for example, if she's like, oh, we're going to go to the flower farm, I ain't paying for the tickets, but then I think after you hit like that second, third month, then you can kind of like jokingly be like, oh, so yeah, let me just get the check again, like you just play it off like that. And then they're like, oh, but I think, I don't know, Grassy, you never pay, do you?
I mean, I wish like for the joke, it would be funny to say no. I feel awkward when the girl ever pays, to be honest with you. It's like weird.
Yeah, no, it does. Unless you've paid enough. Here's the thing. I'll give it to you. You ready? Okay. When you've paid enough, you won't feel awkward when they're like, oh, let me say it's a $70 check. They're like, oh, let me cover it. I'm like, yeah, let's put that $70 up to the 7,000, Yeah. So when you have that, when it's kind of like building, when you build that, it's like $50,000 and then they have to pay 15. Yeah, you don't feel so bad,
That's
but
true.
If you're buying,
well, what I've noticed is some girls, they'll be like, let me get the tip. And I thought they were referring to my piece, but they're actually referring to the tip on the check. So that's created. So it wasn't
you got me confused by the double.
So yeah, when I started taking
that's
the belt off and stuff, she was like, "Yeah, get away from me, you freak!" And I was like, "You did say you wanted to cover the tip, and I thought you meant with your mouth."
Yeah.
So wait, but when that happens, does she still cover the tip? Does she still cover the? After she sees the
good.
tip, does she still cover the tip?
Does she cover the tip? It's one
or
of
is
these
she
tip
not there
stories, and
anymore?
it kind of goes the other way. It's like, do you tip the boat? Do you not tip the boat?
It's like a Pam situation. This Pam
Exactly.
dilemma. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. Shout out Step Brothers.
Andy.
Yeah. Shout out Step Brothers. Shout out Will Ferrell.
But yeah, what do you think about girls, guys? Who's taking the? Who's taking?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't. If it's like I said, the first couple dates and the guy is like not immediately taking his wallet out, I'll be like, what's happening here? But like after a little while, like I have a good job. Like I don't care if I have to pay. Like
she pays for when we go out. She pays for the drinks.
I pay the bar
I love
tab.
going, I love
Me or my roommate will pay for the bar tab. But like if I know that the
might
guy
start going out with that.
yeah, I might have to. Grassy, you work too, but sorry, well, I don't know.
Her job's better than mine.
Oh shit! Okay,
I have 2 jobs, so
yeah, and the third job, but that involves
that we don't speak about that.
Yeah,
that's unspeakable.
Keep that on the low.
Yeah, Patreon.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you definitely get sketch after a couple dates. Grassy, you wouldn't know a couple dates with one girl. It's usually just one.
Well, what I did, sometimes I've gone on 5 different dates and there's no progress, and then the person seems to get surprised when I end things with that person, and it's quite amazing what happened.
I feel like you're the kind of Grassy, that you've been catfished before. I feel like
I haven't been catfished, but I've been like, people have taken very good pictures on different dating websites, and then they
like, this doesn't match.
Like that.
This doesn't match.
And then you make excuse to go watch the NCAA tournament with your cousin at his house. That's happened.
Oh, okay.
But I did read a chapter of the book finally. Well, I didn't read it last week. I read it last night. Pretty long chapter 4 of Solar of Not Giving a Fuck. If you haven't listened to the previous episodes, were the last 4 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, I've been reading the book Solar of Not Giving a Fuck, and then we've been talking about the title and the chapter. This chapter, this one was hard to make funny. I'm going to be honest. It was called The Value. It was very interesting, like for like a history podcast, but it's called The Value of Suffering. Okay. And this chapter starts off talking about the World War II, and basically when America started to kind of start kicking ass, they were like, so in the Philippines, and Japan was like, said to this group of guys, and the leader of this crew was, I think his name was Onado. Let's call him Unagi. Let's call him Unagi. I can't think of the name right now. It's in here somewhere. Oh, Onodo. That's his name. Onodo. So he's the lieutenant of this big group, and he sends them, and it was pretty much a suicide mission. Okay. Yeah. He's like, I need you guys, your guys' goal is to last as long as you can out there, and whatever. So they're in this jungle in the Philippines, and they're just slowly just like killing an American here, killing someone there, and they're really never being found. And like once in a while, one of the guys would get like found and killed, and eventually the war ends, but they're in this jungle and they're just living off insects, like bugs, like living on the ground for years while the war is going on. War ends. There's rumors that there's these people that are like in there killing people, but no one can ever find them. And so what they did was the Japanese army put down all these leaflets. They flew over the island that they told them to go to, flew these leaflets that said the war is over. So this Onodo guy and a few of his guys that were still alive read it and were like, no, this has got to be American American army or whatever, doing this to us. And really it wasn't. And so this goes on for 25 years. This guy Onodo is just in the jungle 25 years after the war ends. He's still in the jungle, not leaving, and just like killing people here and there. Yeah. And so they send search crews. Japan sends search crews, America sends search crews, Philippines sends search crews to find this guy. So no one could find him. Finally, this one kid from Japan, kind of like a loser, like hippie, was like, I'm gonna go find this kid. All he did was he went through walked through these Philippine woods where they knew he was, and we just called his name out, and he came out and he found him. No one, I guess, tried that. Swear to God. They just
called his name out.
So then they became friends, and this guy, this hippie kid, had 3 goals in life: to find Anato, to see the abominable snowman, and one other thing. He basically died trying to find the abominable snowman. And wherever it was. He dies trying to find him, just so he finds this guy that no one can find and dies. And basically, so this Japanese guy ends up going back to Japan after all these years. 30 years pass.
Yeah.
And the title of this chapter is called Value of Suffering, if you don't remember me saying earlier. And he gets back there, and Japan is completely different, obviously. Like, it's very it's all about like capitalism and modernizing. Like, the values are not like, Japan's old values were like tradition and family, and like that's not what the values were. When he got back, he just got so depressed, realized basically he fought for nothing. Like, he went all those years, to fight because that was his mission. He was told to do, did all that, ends up just being depressed, moves to Brazil and then like died in Brazil. And
wait, this is the Anato guy?
Anato guy.
Geez, so he's like, I was in the woods for so long, just randomly killing people, and then I come back and this is like a waste of my time.
Right.
But what's the point of it? Like, what's the
basically just like, I think the point of the whole chapter was like your goals, and you gotta. It was what
really, you're gonna suffer for. Choose what you're gonna suffer for.
Yeah, and like make your goals kind of realistic. If you're like, depending on what your goals are, that kind of determines how happy you are. And I think so. Basically, later in the chapter, it talks about. Did you know that Ringo Starr was not the original person in the Beatles? There was a different guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Pete Best. You know this?
I didn't know who it was.
So there was a different guy, Pete Best, that was actually the original. And there was also another band, this guy, Dave Mustaine, that was in Metallica. He got kicked out before Metallica was big to do this other rock and roll band that did well, but not as good as Metallica, obviously.
Yeah.
And basically that guy's Dave is very depressed to this day, or I don't know if he's still alive. And the other guy, Pete Best, is not at all. He's very happy that he didn't end up being part of the Beatles because he ended up having a really nice family and blah, blah.
Yeah.
Where Dave Mustaine, he's depressed, whatever, even though he's still a millionaire, but because his goal was to be as great as Metallica or whatever, he's unhappy. Whereas Pete Best's goals were just to have a happy family. So he's happy.
I think that the point is your goals and your expectations have to be flexible, like you know what I mean? Like you can change them if you want, you can accept changing them. Not, I'm like giving up on a dream, but like, oh, I'm going to just fucking go this route and make the best of this.
Well, it's kind of like all these self-help books are like tell you like how to get rich. Well, what if like getting rich actually isn't what makes you happy, and like having just a nice like middle-class family,
like a nice middle-class family,
and like
98 Cherokee,
having 3-4 kids makes you happy. Why does this book tell me I have to get rich to be happy? That's kind of what it is. It's like not everyone's goals have to be the same. Not everyone's things make them happy. Like not being rich doesn't make everyone happy. I think it actually does the opposite. To be
I would agree with that. Like, for example, people are like, oh, you need the newest car you can find out there. No, get a 98 Cherokee. You'll be happy. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, dude, actually, out of all my cars, I'm most hyped about this one because I paid basically nothing for it. And this thing, you can just deck out and you know what I mean? Like, it's just.
Well, there's proof of the whole thing is right there. Like, this car kind of makes you a little more happy than I remember when you first bought the truck, you definitely weren't that happy. And then when you got the Jeep or whatever order you got the truck and then the Jeep, whatever order it was. Yeah. I remember when you got the Jeep, you definitely weren't happy because you called me. You're like, I thought it was going to be a good deal and it really wasn't. And now I have like another car loan. And
I think it's because all your money and all your effort and time is spent toward something that can break any, a vehicle. And it's like, now my money's not tied up in anything. I mean, well, my money's just not even around, but it's tied up in Doge. It's in Doge, which is going up and down, a ton. But for the audience to know, I had a conversation with Grassy 2 weeks ago because Grassy would text me when Doge would go down. He'd be like, dude, you got to sell it right now. Should have sold out, man. Yeah, that shit fucks with you. So basically, I told Grassy, I was like, we can't do that anymore. And so he's and then you were like,
you gotta read this book about this guy Noto, and he he would say put all your money in Doge and just let it rock, and that's more fun than actually having money.
Yeah. I read his biography. I didn't read the so I but that's, I don't know. Happiness is what you make it. Not my words. They are my words right now. I don't know if anyone else said them before me, but
I'm sure there's somebody that said it before you, but I agree with it.
I probably quoted it,
Well, Lauren says she agrees with it, and then every boyfriend she's ever had, she asks them what their parents do for a living, and if they don't make a lot of money, she tells them to hit the bricks.
Even though you make so much money with your jobs.
Yeah, well, I have to have somebody who is ambitious as well, and if they see their parents are ambitious, they should also be ambitious.
Well,
that's what I'm looking for.
There's a thing. There's ambition, and then there's like having money, like already. I know a lot of people that have money right now, a ton of money, and aren't really ambitious, and then vice versa. People who come from being poor as shit to like, I'm not going to settle for anything less than.
Yeah.
And then there's people that just sit in their basements and work for hospitals.
That's exactly what I want in a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's sad is like you would think I'd be doing worse than most people our age, and then I'm doing like if average or a little better. That's the sad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you get your housing covered, and then you don't have a car to worry about. You don't have to worry about your car.
Yeah, that thing's long gone. I should say I have a picture of the front, so we could put it on the Instagram or Patreon.
Yeah. And insurance covered you, right?
It did.
Do you pay?
All right, so you better.
Don't worry about that's another Patreon question.
See, that's
to answer the sweatshirt thing. Yes, I did think giving it to her would get me late. So Pete,
so late.
I knew it.
Shit. All right, listen. This is what we're gonna do. You take that insurance money. You give it to me. All right.
Oh, God.
Now, I'm gonna find you a vehicle, and then I'll take a little bit of cut, kind of like a realtor. When you buy a house, the whole 9 yards.
Well, I don't think the car's totaled. The front of it looks like it could be, but I drove it from after the accident, so it's not totaled. But it looks way worse than I thought it was. But
you'd be better off getting it totaled, because if it's totaled,
no shit, I wanted to get that check so that I could just buy a different car. That
you should have hit the deer and then fucking swerved into a tree. Like you should have just said it was like a.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Almost put myself in the hospital just maybe.
Oh, you can do the jump out and roll situation. You want to hear something really stupid? You want to hear something really stupid? I thought as a kid, up until at least 16 years old, when I understand how gravity worked, that if you were falling with a plane, say you were standing on the wing, that if you jumped a millisecond before it hit the ground, you'd be fine. But that doesn't make any sense, because you can't. The negative.
That's interesting. I don't think that's physics. Like super stupid. Like as a kid to think that.
It's not as a kid. Well,
because then you're playing
up to 15.
Because you're playing. If you play any video game, that happens.
Yeah, exactly. So that's probably what I was basing it off of.
Lauren, here's a good question for Lauren. I just thought of. What do you think of guys that like at our age are still playing video games a lot?
So. If you're playing a lot of video games,
what's a lot? Let's define a lot right now.
If you're playing like over an hour every night, or like 5+ nights a week.
Here's the thing with video games, and coming from a guy that has played a lot through the years, that not anymore. But like it's hard to when you start playing video games, it's hard to literally only play an hour. Like you have to either play like none or play like 3-4 hours. And that I'm just saying that as someone that play, like it's hard to just play an hour. But I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying like
because you get tied in.
Because you get tied in. Like think about how long one game of Warzone and Pete and I used to play, and I'd yell at him all the time. Classic. One game takes at least a half hour. Yeah. Or like if you do decent in the game, it takes a half hour. So think about that. You get 2 games, then you get off like that. That's what it comes to. But keep going.
Well, I feel like if you're able to play video games and then somebody's like, hey, want to go do this, whether it's a girlfriend or a friend or your parents, they're like, hey, want to get dinner, want to go grab a drink, and you're able to just shut it off, no issues, and be like, yeah, let's do it, then fine, play video games. Like it's no big deal. But if you're going to sit there all night and you're gonna be like, no, I literally can't leave this room for 5 hours, not even to pee, then like that's an issue.
That's a good point. That's a really good point, because I definitely have friends that do both. Like I have one that I'll text, he'll play video games, then I text him, let's go play tennis, and he'll be like, dude, what am I doing? Like, of course, let's go do something like like physical fun, whatever. Like I'll go. Where I have other friends where I'll be like, no, I'd rather just play video games. So
yeah, like I never had. I'd rather watch a rom-com than play a video game, you know. But that's just I'm a different breed. I'm a different breed.
Yeah. You get off the bed on the other side.
Yeah, I drink milk from the other side of the glass.
What the
That's a
fuck?
movie
That's a good
quote
saying.
from a rom-com.
Oh.
Sleepless
Really?
in Seattle. Shout out Tom Hanks.
If we
Aw,
were
I
to
haven't
make new
watched that in a
shirts,
while.
that is such a funny saying. That is a great saying.
It's a mailman, let's say, and he's drinking from the. I don't know how it. I don't know.
It's a funny
but
saying. It's funny.
We could.
Yeah.
We'll get some more shirts out there. Yeah,
It
it's
might
been a
get
bit. For
copyrighted.
us.
I have.
If
Well,
it's from
I
a
still have
movie.
shirts. If you guys want shirts, by the way, I still got them. If you guys thought we sold out, we didn't. Shocking.
Our marketing team, led by your 14-year-old cousin, just didn't.
Led
Really,
by my 8th grade cousin. Then I have a 11th grade cousin that also was doing some work. He backed out.
Mm. Were
Yeah.
they getting paid?
No, what they get
Oh,
paid with is
wow.
hugs and cookies.
You should have said knowledge and experience.
Oh, okay. That's what I
didn't
meant to
know with
say.
the cookies. I haven't been cooking cookies. You
Yeah,
You haven't been putting
we-
any in the
we-
microwave?
Well, I did.
You got it. You better get the microwave ones. It's way
The
too
best is
expensive to buy all
I
this
could
shit.
see Pete like when his girlfriend comes over and he literally is taking the cookies out of
Yeah.
the microwave.
Yeah.
Like, I could see you
Bro,
doing that.
microwavable food though. I ran like a month on eating lean cuisine. Lean cuisine. I'm sure I talked about it.
But you would eat like how many of them would you actually
I would eat like 3 or 4 a day,
eat?
and the sodium or
Those must
something.
be
I was just
expensive.
Well, yeah,
no. It was like
money is no
2.
issue.
It was like 2 for 4. It was just like I
Okay.
don't know. I thought I was getting a deal, but then I felt like shit. You're not supposed to eat that much.
Lean cuisine.
No,
Yeah.
not
Shout
that.
out lean cuisine.
Yeah, shout out lean cuisine.
But that wraps us up for today. Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
good
that's
stuff,
so
good
much
stuff.
fun.
It was fun. It flew by. It honestly always flies by. It's been flying by lately, for being honest.
Yeah, it's
More
probably
than-
the heat, temperature outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
The weather channel. The weather channel. Are there still weather? Just before we wrap up, are there still weather people, or is it just the app now? I don't. Is there anybody still?
I mean, there has to be like weather, like meteorologists to put information on the apps.
Yeah,
so
like
there
who's
are
studying?
somewhere.
Who's studying? that,
John
though, in
Stamos
college?
is one of the bigger. He does weather now.
I think
He's
he
one of
works
the
for
weather.
AccuWeather.
Yeah, meteorologist.
Shit.
Him
Okay.
and Howard Manges. Local.
Oh.
local
That's
guy.
why. That's why. That's
Local
why.
guy.
That's why AccuWeather is never accurate. But
Oh, God.
yeah, that wraps us up for this week. Bringing the Hugh That Compete. Have a thanks, Lauren, for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having
Yeah.
me, guys.
And have a great weekend.
Peace and love.
catch you guys.